Oh, wow. I had start already. And I didn't have my window open. Uh-oh. 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 Uh-oh, that's no good. Whoops. Uh-oh. YOLO, I guess. YOLO? YOLO. Is this open yet? Okay, almost there. Gotta get my window right. Close this. I have way too much crap open, don't I? I do. Move this to this. Put this here. X this. Shrink this. Put this here. No couch. Yeah, you may notice a small change in the environment here. All right, here we are. Are those gray hairs? Yes, they are. Those are gray hairs. That's not what's different, though. I mean, it's kind of curious if any of you notice any sort of mild change. New camera, no. This is the same PS. This is my AX53 from Sony. I used to use these for walkabout videos, but these image stabilization on it is trash. It's absolute trash, but also it had the audio input to it is broken, so it doesn't really make sense for me to use it for walkabout videos. I just use my phone now. Let's see, has anybody noticed anything different? Salute. Thank you, MH Watcher. That's more than I deserve. Is it not 3 a.m.? It is 3 a.m. and I started unpacking. I got my Xfinity internet set up over here. I got my internet changed over. I hate it. Comcast is pretty much the worst experience I've ever had with an ISP in my life. Wow. Let's see. Who's making thumbnails? Adit. You'll see him in the comments from time to time. I probably mispronounced his name. I apologize if I did. You piece of shit. Fuck you, Sony. Come on. Come on, you cunt. Okay, what if I hit the record button? There we go. If I hit record, it actually stays on. Piece of crap, Sony. Did you do this by accident? No. How is small town life? I don't know. This is my first 5 hours of it. It was broken to someone's house. Yes, and I paid them for the ability to break into it. I'm a nice guy like that. Where is the janky apartment? The janky apartment is about 320 miles south of here. I'm supposed to get I'm getting a desk, a chair, and a futon in tomorrow. Because right now, tonight I'm sleeping on the floor, and I'm standing for this stream in my kitchen. Did you go to school for computers? No, I did not. Oh, you're a free stater. Not at this point in time. How do you run a business and a YouTube channel staying up all night? I don't know. Ooh, I see a crybaby. Oh, bye-bye, bitch. Bye-bye, crybaby. Let's see. This is not sponsored by Sony. It's a decent little camera. It's obsolete for what it is. Like, this thing's worth like 200. This camera in 2022 was worth about $100, but they still sell it for 1,000, which is crazy. Where did you move? Southern New Hampshire. I got a little place in a small town so that I can kind of visit the rest of the state and see if it's a place I'd like to live. It's a small apartment, and I don't have I have a really good lease, so I can leave whenever I want without having to pay a crazy fee. It's really weird. I was saying this earlier, that as I was bringing bags up and downstairs from this little apartment, I kept locking the door behind me not realizing that this town has a population of something like 500 people. Like 500, maybe, I think, I have to look it up on Wikipedia. It's like 500 or 900 people. So I'm like every time I bring my bag up, I would lock the door behind me. And then when I went right back outside, I would then lock the door before I went to my car, which is literally right next to the apartment. And I'm just thinking to myself, what the fuck am I doing? This is not New York City. Like, nobody's doing that. But it's one of those things where I'm confident it's going to take some time to kind of get used to that. Yeah, this is Comcast. So first they didn't realize that I actually signed up, so I couldn't pick up my stuff. I had to wait a bit, and then when I plugged it in, it didn't see me as a user, so I had to relink my account. And the person, oh my god, it was like hours of shit. Like, I'm literally just now getting internet at 3:25 in the morning. Oh, are you streaming on multiple platforms? I am streaming on multiple platforms. Yes, this is. But the Twitch chat is usually, most of the time, it's just kind of trolly junk. But I do read it. Looks a lot nicer than your apartment in New York City. It's much smaller. But the thing is, it's empty. It's not filled with crap yet. So I filled my apartment with crap, and then I finally cleaned it, and then I started seeing Erica, and she filled it up with crap. So at this point, like, yeah, I'm gonna take the stuff that I want out of that apartment, and then I'm gonna tell Erica, you get a set of keys when you prove that you're not gonna fill it with crap. Oh, I don't know what that means, but I appreciate the $1.99. It's more than I deserve. There's a lot of high teens in this area. That's not really my focus, man. I don't know what you're talking about. What do you exactly mean by locking? I don't know whoever said there's no such thing as a dumb question, but there are. Learned behaviors, haha. Truly. And don't get me wrong, it's the right behavior to have in New York City. It's just, it doesn't apply here. What's your favorite pizza? I prefer low carb, so I try to avoid pizza. I honestly don't enjoy pizza very much. I don't think it's a delicacy. I don't, get all excited and happy over pizza the way I think you're supposed to. Pizza to me is kind of like beer. When you're young, everybody tells you that you should worship pizza and care about pizza, and oh my god, it's so amazing on television. Everybody gets so excited for pizza, but it's really not. It's like, it's one of those things that I think people are conditioned into believing is amazing when it's really just, run-of-the-mill average shit. If you want decent pizza, if you want to at least try it and see if there's a good version of it, and there really is not much good pizza because at the end of the day, it's based on fucking like a high carb thing, which is horrible. Try Artichoke in New York City. I don't know if they're still open or if they got destroyed by the shit policy in that city, but unban me from YouTube. It's been 7 months. I don't know how to, NL. I'll be honest with you. So there's a list that you used to be able to access, and it would list all the people. Now, since YouTube changed over to the new studio interface from Classic, I can only get it to show me the first 45 people that are banned. And because I have probably 9,000 people that are banned, it's literally impossible for me to unban someone. I'll do a video on the live channel eventually showing you how this works, but it's broken. I can't unban you. It sounds stupid, but when I actually scroll through that list, it only shows me the first 30 or 40 people that are banned. I don't even know how to. YouTube has no concept of how to deal with people. But yeah, you want to go to Artichoke on 14th Street between 1st and 2nd if they have not been destroyed by the idiots that run our city. Oh my God, our city. It's not my city anymore. I gotta say that. Oh boy. Take a look at Twitch chat. Gotta love the ISPs. Yeah, the only thing worse than government service is government-sponsored monopoly service. We fucked up in this country so badly in the 20s and 30s and 40s when we decided to give... the whole idea was something like, we can't trust that you are going to be willing to wire every single home. So what we'll do is we'll give you a regional monopoly, and in exchange, you need to wire everybody here, even if it's not profitable. And I kind of think that the companies held the government at gunpoint when in reality the gun had no bullets. And now we're fucking paying for it 80 or 90 years later because these companies are very, very confident because they know that you have no choice. They know that you have no choice. They know that you're stuck with them regardless. And they really, give you the shaft with service. You'll probably like New Hampshire. It's not for everyone. It's best summed up by its motto, live free or die. Yeah, I'm learning about the live free or die since I have to get my car inspection and I have to remove my tints from the window so that it'll be legal. But Eric has been giving me so much shit. She's like, yeah, tell me more about live free or die as you're ripping the tints off of your car because you're not allowed to have them there. That is what it is. It's a small price to pay. This explains you answering questions we can't see. Yes. Wes says Twitch chat is cancer. That's very nice. Excuse me. Tested positive for COVID just after getting off bereavement. Nice to see I'm not the only one restless tonight. We suffer again. I'm really sorry to hear that you tested positive, and I really do hope that you have a very quick recovery. I hope that you have an asymptomatic case or a very mild case. I hope you have no long COVID, and I hope that you're okay. I had a lot of people showing up in my live stream on my other channel. I have a live channel, and people are saying, what do you think of AOC getting COVID? What do you think of AOC getting COVID? And I said, I hope that she has a quick recovery, an asymptomatic or mild case, and that she gets better as soon as possible with no long-term symptoms. I don't know. Is this an Omicron safe home? It's safe from Omicron, it's safe from Delta, but it's not safe from Deltacron! Yo, have any of you been following this bullshit? So apparently there's another fucking COVID called Deltacron. I'm not kidding. I'm not fucking kidding. They actually have something called Deltacron. Let me see if I can show you this shit. Oh my god, this is getting fucking ridiculous. Like, it's actually starting to get like Pokemon. Like, you gotta catch them all, except with Pokemon, you couldn't combine Bulbasaur and Charmander to get Charizard. Like, you couldn't do that. But apparently with COVID, you can. So let's see. Deltacron. I'm not fucking memeing. They actually have something called Deltacron. Let's see if I can show you this without getting something on the screen that's inappropriate, like I always do. Here we go. So this is called Deltacron. COVID-19 variant Deltacron is real. Deltacron! Oh my god, be scared! Be scared! Yo, you got a fucking Deltacron. It's like it mixes all the scary things about Delta and all the scary things about Omicron. Oh, man. Anything you'll miss from New York City? I don't know. I'll visit from time to time, but I'm not going to... But I genuinely need to fucking clear my head. Like, I think, like, I fucked myself. Once my supply business closed in 2011... It didn't close. It closed in end of 2013, but it failed in 2011. And when that business failed, my method of coping was to open a store. I think Old Hampshire is in Europe, and I don't think Europe's for me. I'm pretty sure Old Hampshire is in Europe. So, like, what was I saying? I completely forgot what I was talking about. Holy shit. Yeah, I completely forgot what I was talking about. Wow, that's crazy. Maybe somebody will remind me. If anybody can remind me. Why would you ban people? Because they say stupid shit. I used to have a policy of full free speech on this channel, and there was one thing in 2015 that changed it all for me. There was a guy that posted a question. Congrats on the move. Has Erica located the best cookies in town yet? She hasn't been by. She is in Hawaii because she has a family member that is terminally ill. Thank you, though. There was this one person that posted like a question, do you fix motherboards? And I said yes. And then he edited his post to say, are you a faggot? And then, so it looked, and then he posted a response saying, I knew it, ha 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 ha. And then I'm just thinking to myself, like, why? I mean, again, the concept of free speech, meaning that you can make your own channel and upload whatever you want on it, and I can't do anything about it, I respect that. But you coming into my living room and literally just taking a puke on the floor, like, why defend that? What's the point of that? Fuck that. That's just being a cuck, keeping that there. Like there's free speech, and then there's free speech absolutism that makes you a cuck, and it's like, why? Suggestion for someone starting in the repair business: trainings, tips, and pitfalls. Start cheap. Do not get focused on, I need a fancy office, I need to wrap my car and paint it with my logo and all this stupid ass shit, and like get t-shirts with your company logo. You can start cheap. Advertise, Craigslist, Kijiji, classified ads, OLX, web forums, YouTube, Google, Facebook, do all that, Yelp, all that shit. Appreciate your work and thought process, 330. More orange juice. I don't know if this is with Paul. But do all that stuff. Constantly be upping your skill set. Always be upping your skill set. Again, don't buy into the AOC thing that there's no such thing as a low-skill job. There is, which means don't focus on just doing screen repair, virus removal, because you'll be broke at the end of the day. Like, some people get by, but at the end of there's a lot less opportunity. Focus on doing the jobs that other people are afraid to do, don't want to do, and really dig in. Like, if you have free time, and most people who are broke do because they have nothing else to do, put some time into fucking, like, just dive in. You use the materials. Hello, Physicality Channel. Use the materials that STS Telecom and Paul Daniels and iPad Rehab and Mark Schaefer and Jesse Cruz and Tim Herman at TCR Circuit. They've all released so much stuff online that allows you to learn. Like, fucking dig into it and start, if you can't afford, to learn on expensive stuff, learn on cheap shit. Buy an Acer 5517 for like $25 on eBay that, I don't know, turns on but doesn't post. Take a chip off, put it back on. If it still turns on, that means that you know how to solder that particular chip. Just get started, dig in. There's a lot of information out there. But above all, don't cheap out on the things that you need, but don't spend money on bullshit you don't need, and don't lie to yourself. Don't make your store fancy. Don't make your office fancy. Don't think you got to book an office before your time. Same thing with recording studios. A lot of people think, I need to build a recording studio and then the customers will come. And that's not how it works. The way it works is you only get a recording studio once you are so busy that you cannot book time anywhere else, because you need to book time all day long and they can't accommodate you. You only get a studio once you are literally so busy that by the time you open, you will have customers from 10 in the morning until 1 in the morning the next day. You only get a store once you're that busy. Do not put time in before that. Don't put money, put the minimal amount of money in that you need to test out whether an idea is working and functional. And don't let people tell you, oh, you're being unprofessional. You should get paint your car with your logo or get the fanciest store in town, or fuck all that shit. You're way too nice to AOC. I am not one of those people that's going to wish... Again, there's very few people that I would say, fuck them, I hope they, have a horrible case of COVID. Like, for instance, my contractor that had ripped me off for $35,000, laughed about it, bragged about it, and had ripped off several other customers for over $100,000. Him, I don't give a fuck what happens to. But for the most part, I need to clear my head. I'd really, again, I don't like AOC very much. I don't agree with her on a lot of COVID things or a lot of other things. But again, if she's sick... I'm not going to say oh yeah, good for her. Oh, she deserves it for, making fun of Ron DeSantis and Florida. No, I feel bad. I hope she gets better. I hope that her case is mild or asymptomatic, and I hope she's able to get back to work. Really, from the bottom of my heart, that's not where I am. Even Andrew Cuomo. If Andrew Cuomo got COVID, I hope he gets better. I hope he has an asymptomatic case. I hope he recovers completely. And, again, I'm not willing to go that far with it, over politics. How the clear my head thing. Yeah, so when that company failed around 2011-12, instead of mourning it, I wanted to distract myself. So I opened this new store. And then I just kind of went ham from then until 2019 or 2020. At the end of 2020, I realized I had lost my mind. So I said I'm going to take a break. In 2021, I'm going to lead a lower stress lifestyle. I started 2 nonprofits. One of them was really close to apparently breaking campaign finance law, but luckily I figured it out before I did that. I really didn't do what I said I was going to do 10 years ago. So I need to clear my head, and I'm hoping that this will help. I'm not reading your name, but I appreciate your dollar, and thank you very much. And what makes Poland lawless? I've never been to Europe, so I have no idea. When do we have a Megatron variant? That will be fun. I'm not taking it seriously until they roll out the Sigma variant. That is coming soon. I think there's a Pi variant. I believe Pi comes next and then Sigma, although I don't remember the names. I'm behind by 6 minutes. Delta Plus Rewards Program variant. Yeah, you have a cold. No, I don't. It's allergies. Yeah, you don't have a cold because you have sniffles.
Oh, sweet mercy.
Hope you enjoy your new apartment. Yes, at 3:30 a.m. and I'm still at the keyboard. How are the kitties? They're doing well. And by the way, thank you for the greenies. I really appreciate it. I shouldn't say I appreciate it. I personally don't care about greenies. Can I be honest? But Mr. Clinton was very happy. So thank you very much. That was very kind of you. That and the Jolly Ranchers. Too kind. You are too kind. Somebody thought you'd go to Florida, Texas like everybody else. Maybe. Again, here's the thing. If I don't like it here, I'll go there. I'll be honest. I'm really open to checking out anywhere. This place is pretty cheap. Again, as you can see, look at you with your fancy ceiling fan. You've come a long way since your days in the apartment with me in Albania Elvis. Albania Elvis. Dude, I have the same apartment. This place is not special. Really. Look around, okay? You ready? You want a tour? Here's my new place. You ready? You ready? Yeah. 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 Again, this is not exactly, this is a temporary place. If I figure out that I like a town in New Hampshire, or I find a town in New Hampshire that I like, I buy a house in that town. If I don't like it, then I move on to another state. This is not
Sweet mercy.
this is not exactly the pinnacle of luxury living here. This is pretty much, just cheap shit. I'm in Australia. I purchased a refurbished Lenovo P50 in good condition. That was a good buy going forward. Depends on how much you spent on it. Again, I'm using my P50 right here. Look, see? This is a P50. This is my P50. The only thing I hate about this thing is that it has the off-center keyboard. This pisses me off. I hate this shit. Like, I can't stand this garbage. There's no reason for a numpad on a laptop. It's the fucking it's the peak of degeneracy. Because it makes it off-center. You can't have a keyboard that's off-center. Was that awful fire in the Bronx far from you? I'm about 10 miles away from the Bronx. I didn't hear about a fire. Wow, that's... my other apartment is about, the old apartment's like 10 miles from the Bronx. This one's about 300 miles from the Bronx. I'm pretty far away from that. I don't think you can have fires in New Hampshire. It's too cold here. I'm pretty sure that if you try to like light a lighter outside, that it'll just freeze. Okay, I'm behind on chat by 7 minutes, so I'm going to scroll past the stupid things. Okay. The true issue with the internet and free speech.
Sweet mercy.
Welcome to Third Shift. I need more Clinton. I hope you're having a good night, Lauren Tedford. How do you think AOC got her job? Through hard work or because she blew the right... Oh, come on. That's bullshit. She got her job by appealing to people's populism. Again, people were really pissed off. There are a lot of people that have been totally fucked over by the world, totally fucked over by life, and they are looking for someone that says the things that they believe need to be said. And same thing as Trump. It's just in the opposite direction. So like Trump was like AOC is like left-wing Trump. I really don't know how else to put it. Can you ping him? No, he didn't blow me off. It wasn't him. It was, he never blew me off. I blew off somebody that is also a lawyer whose name is in the tip of my tongue, but I forget it. There's another lawyer, and Viva Frey, that's the one. So Nick Brachita didn't blow me off. I blew off Viva Frey because he was busy for a few months, and I'm an idiot who can't use a scheduler. And I can't tell the difference between Viva Frey and Nick Brachita because I'm an idiot. But I will eventually. I haven't gotten an email from him. You know, my email is public, so if he wants to have me on, I'm always welcome to having him email and set some up. Just want to say thanks. I learned a lot here, and my current job is doing large parts info I gather from this channel and the encouragement you provide. Hope you're doing well. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I agree you might be able to start out with mixing. Mixing what? Huh? Yeah, I think it really is just kind of, you know, she spoke to the things that people, there's things that sound true and feel true, but then there's things that are true. Like, for instance, when AOC said the thing about there's no such thing as a low-skill job. And it's like...
sweet mercy.
I don't know what an outlet location is. If you're talking about franchising to where that location doesn't actually do work but sends it somewhere else, no, because that cuts against the entire sales pitch of my business. My sales pitch of my business is the person you speak to when you show up is the person that's doing the job, knows what the fuck they're doing, can explain everything to you. The moment that I do move away from that is the moment I can no longer respect my business, I would no longer expect my customers to respect me, and I would no longer expect to make money. I very much so understand what makes me money and what sets me apart from everybody else. I have a sense of appreciation, thank you. I have a very strong sense of appreciation for what it is that sets me apart from other businesses. And I know that the moment that I forget that, the moment that I lose that sense of appreciation, the moment that I forget what it is that sets us apart from all those other businesses that failed in the time that we opened, is the moment that I fail too. Forget what I was. Oh yeah, the AOC. Okay, you know, there's no such thing as a low skill. Like, really? Like, yes, there is. Again, should we treat low-skilled people better? Yes. Is cost of living outpacing wage growth in this country? Yes. Are there a lot of problems to solve? Yes. Thank you, Daniel Groves. I appreciate that. But when you say there's no such thing as a low-skilled job, again, you're appealing to the vanity of a populist base that is really, really looking for somebody to speak for them. And it's like, it's the same shit that Trump did. Trump did it in the opposite direction as AOC did, which is why I find it really fucking funny that people that like Trump hate AOC and people that love AOC hate Trump, because it's like, I don't know. It seems like the opposite direction of a very similar thing. But I forget. Yeah, like when you say she got elected because she blew people, I mean that's bullshit. Like what? She gets elected by voters. Do you really think that somebody's going to go and blow like tens of thousands of voters? That's just logistically impossible. Even if you were able to give the best head in the world, that's not just. I don't think you can do that. I don't know. It depends. I honestly haven't really set that up yet. I was gonna stay until as long as it took to set up some furniture. Just a basic little setup for myself. I got to get a new propane tank because the propane there's a long story. The propane fuckery here. There's a bunch of shit that I have to set up. So I was thinking a few days to a week and bounce back. I forget where I was talking about. I really need a memory.
Oh, sweet mercy.
How is desktop Linux treating you? It's getting better because I'm getting better at dealing with all the bugs and the shit and like figuring it out. Are we still on? For me gargling your... Ew. It's kind of weird when instead of using it as an insult, it's offered. It's weird because it's the exact same thing, but it's like once it's offered to me instead of me using it as an insult, it kind of backfires entirely and it's like, no. They missed Xi to not offend China. They had Lambda in Peru to offend Amazon and Jeff Bezos. They had Delta to offend Delta Airlines. There was an absolute tragic shipbox apartment fire overnight in the Bronx, possibly where you're traveling. Like, holy... Yeah, I was driving the entire evening, so I was not checking the news. I did a stream on the other channel while I was driving for a bit of it. Fuck. That's horrible. That's fucking horrible. Holy fuck shit. It really, it sucks how bad things continuously happen to good people. And even if there were bad people in that building, nobody deserves to get fucking burned alive. Under Trump, a country will have an economy. Under AOC, you become Venezuela. They're not moral equals. I mean, I think you're assuming a little much about what they're looking to do with either of their policies. Also, you can't assume that somebody's going to do what they say they're going to do when they get in office. Like, remember when Trump was railing against Obama's economy because he said that this is all propped up by low interest rates? I'm like, okay, I don't like Trump, but that makes sense. I'll agree with that tweet. And then I remember he gets in office and he starts bitching the moment that they start hiking interest rate. And it's like, wait a second. Weren't you saying that Obama's economy was fake because of artificially low interest rates? Why are you bitching about somebody that's actually trying to raise interest rates? Like, that's what you were advocating for when you were fucking running. I genuinely don't trust any politician anymore. I work third shift. Glad to see you on at a normal time. I guess normal time for you. I'm behind in chat by 7 minutes, but I'm moving through as quickly as I can. How's the weed in New Hampshire? I don't smoke weed. Do you think solar roof panel industry will grow? The price has got to get better. There's this one dude, Eric Lundgren. I did an interview on the channel with him 4 years ago. Apparently he went to prison. He got out of prison. No plans to scale my business whatsoever. I'm done. I've done, I very rarely scale businesses because I fail at them. I tried to scale my supply company. I ran it into the ground. I turned $150,000 into minus $17,000 in a few months. I tried to grow this business. I moved to a store that was $7,000 a month more expensive right before the world economy crashed. I wound up $90,000 in debt. I got that down to $48,000, but still, $48,000 in debt there. I'm going to pay it off before the end of the year. I have a plan for it, but still. And yeah, business peaked in September of 2019, and I'm paying $7,000 a month more now than I was then. So, no, Steve has always joked and said, you have the worst luck of anybody I've ever met, and I always find a way around it. I don't let it take me down, but I'll be honest with you, I don't have it in me anymore. I really don't. I always wind up doing the wrong thing at the wrong time and fucking with myself. But they should be paid a respectable minimum wage of $25 an hour. I disagree with you. I'm sorry. At $25 an hour, it goes from you have a job to this is no longer viable, like go home. Like, for instance, again, there are certain jobs where instead of having you do the job at $18 an hour, if you make it $25, at that point, it simply makes sense for me to tell the other 30 people that work here, can you guys all chip in 5 minutes a day to do this? So instead of me hiring, there becomes a point. Here's the way this works. There's a financial calculation that goes into this, which is if I'll give you an example. Let's just say a janitor, right? I don't have a janitor at my store. It genuinely doesn't make sense. There is no janitor at Rossmann Repair Group. I tell everybody here, again, if you piss in the seat of the toilet, clean it up. Throw away your garbage at the end of the day. Sweep your area at the end of the day. It doesn't make sense for me to pay $25 an hour for a janitor. That's fucking insane. What I do is I tell everybody here, spend 5 minutes each day cleaning up your area. Now, if it was so, and again, I'm not advocating for hiring somebody at $5 an hour. I'm just going to be 100% clear. But if I could hire somebody that actually did the work at $5 an hour, maybe it would make sense to have a janitor for my business. But it doesn't make sense at 25 or 35 or 40. So that doesn't mean that you're going to make more money. A lot of the times it simply means that I'm just going to tell everybody else, do a little bit of this, and that job just disappears. Now, there are the jobs that you fundamentally need somebody to do, and perhaps a minimum wage would help them, but it's also just going to knock off a ton of jobs. Like, again, if you said that a shipping clerk, right? Let's say you said a shipping clerk has to make $32 an hour, right? I'm just pulling that number out of my ass there. What I would do, because somebody said, well, you need a shipping clerk. You actually don't. I mean, before I had a shipping clerk, I had the technician. Each technician would open a box from the front. They would pick the job that they wanted from the front, and then when they were done with it, they would ship it themselves. A shipping clerk is actually a luxury. It's not a necessity. It's a luxury, and that's an important thing to understand at the end of the day, because that's something people missed from the last video that I did. They said, well, you know, I could actually get by without having a shipping clerk. Each person here would simply spend 5 or 10 or 15 minutes per day picking out their own thing and then shipping their repair at the end of the day. It's not ideal, but I could do it. You know, again, it's one of these things where many people think that the decision is a moral or an ethical decision, when at the end of the day, it's a mathematical one. The important thing is that when making a mathematical decision, you still have to take into account human dignity. You still have to take into account treating somebody with respect. They should be treated with respect. They should be treated with dignity, and they should feel like they're valued. Again, people are not spreadsheets, but these decisions are made based on a spreadsheet. And I think that a lot of people apply a moral or an ethical framework to what is, at the end of the day, fundamentally a mathematical decision. For certain things, it makes zero sense for me to hire somebody for it based on a salary. It's not like I'm evil. Thank you, T-Dalt. It's not like I'm so mean, and because I'm so mean and greedy and evil that I refuse to pay this. It's just, what is the math? And if the math says that it doesn't make sense, then it's just, sorry, you got to go away. How do you deal with customers who say someone else gave me a lower price? I don't. I tell them, go there. Honestly, I don't really care. I have enough. There is enough people bringing stuff in that I genuinely. There's always going to be somebody cheaper, and I fundamentally don't care. There was a time when I did. Like, there's a reason that we have the prices that we do. We treat people with respect. We treat them with dignity. We care about their job. I've seen enough work where people did a horrible... Oh, this is 4 lines. I'm going to forget what I was talking about. You fail to acknowledge the hidden skill sets that exist in low-wage labor, such as the mental fortitude to do low-stimulating, hard physical labor. Okay, firstly, hard physical labor is... there is what is low skill, and then there's low skill and a royal pain in the ass. So not everybody is fit to be a full-time packer. Not everybody is. Yeah, you're right. Not everybody is fit to be a full-time packer. That doesn't mean that a full-time packer is going to get like $50 or $80 an hour either. It doesn't, just because not everybody